Hello, so today I'm going to be making a raw vegan apple crumble, sort of with a caramel coconut twist. And yeah, I've never made it before, so I'm just creating the recipe. At the end, if there's any changes that need to be made, I'm going to leave all that in the description as well as the recipe. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to do some sort of spin off of a crumble, and I wanted to do it raw because I guess I've been inspired by a cafe that I've been helping a lot at these days. It's a fully raw vegan cafe. But also I just always gravitate towards raw foods, and so I thought that making a crumble with raw ingredients would be a cool thing to do. And so yeah, the main ingredients I'm going to be using are the apples, of course, and dates for the sweetener. And seriously guys, like, if you don't like dates, still try it out, because really when they're combined in a recipe with so many other things, like, you only taste the sweetness, you don't get the texture, the flavor, whatever it is that you don't like. I love dates in all forms, so that's not a problem for me. But then I'm going to use some walnuts sort of for that buttery flavor, and then coconut, of course, and yeah, some other ingredients, and I might have to add some things into the recipe at the end, but I'll let you guys know of that. And so yeah, I think I'll serve it up with coconut yogurt at the end. I'm going to use 4 apples. I'm going to blend up 2 of them with 3 pitted medjool dates. So if you're using a food processor or blender, you don't have to chop the apples or use an immersion blender. The other methods would be much better, but this is all that I had available. I think the immersion blender is not working that well, so I'm going to chop them up more and then try again. You can probably use like a cheese grater and like shred the apples and then like mince the dates, and then it'll like absorb the apple juices. But I'm too late for that since I already chopped my apples, but that could be an option. I ended up blending the rest in a smaller jar because it worked a lot better with the immersion blender, and I got a really good texture, sort of like applesauce type of consistency, which is perfect for what we want. And then I'm going to chop the other 2 apples really small. You want it nice and small because when you cook apple crisp, you don't have like big chunks of hard apple, and so you just kind of have smaller chunks that are less cooked than others. So you want to make sure it's small so you have the softer consistency of the blended ones, and then just small crunchy chunks. And then I just put it all in the bowl with the blended apple and mixed it together. Once it's all mixed, you can put it in your pan, and then I just put it in the fridge while I made the rest. Alright, so this is what we have so far. It looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to set this aside and make the topping. Ideally you would have a food processor for this, but I don't, so I'm going to chop things really small and use more of my hands than I would normally. Okay, so I'm going to start by chopping half a cup of walnuts. So basically, if you're not using a food processor, you're just going to want to chop them up as small as you can. And then to the walnuts, I'm just going to add 9 medjool dates. First I'll take the pits out, and then I'll chop them really small since I don't have a food processor. And you're going to want to make sure you're using medjool dates because those are the ones that are going to be gooey and sticky enough to stick the rest of the topping together. So then I'm just gonna add the dates to the walnuts. And I started by leaving out a few, but I ended up adding them all because I needed them later. And then I'll add half a cup of shredded coconut and a quarter cup of oats, and then a full teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of salt. And then I used my hands to mix it together, but again, if I had a food processor, that would go a lot quicker and cleaner. You can see that the texture of it is turning nice and crumbly and it's sticking together just like a real apple crumble. And then I put it on top of the apple mixture, and it works best to press it down when your hands are a little bit wet. That's why mine are wet here. And yeah, just lightly press it down and spread it out evenly, and make sure all the apple is covered. And then I added another teaspoon of cinnamon and a crack of salt before putting it in the fridge and then serving it later. And so I've just tried it and it's actually amazing. No changes need to be made. I'm so pleased. So yeah, definitely give this a try. Let me know how you guys like it. I am so excited to share this recipe. Use other fruit. Yeah, I might even make some more variations and do like a few versions of it, but yeah, and let me know how you like it.